Hey YouTube, I'm going to be doing I don't even know if I want to call it short, but video on my Mosin Nagant. This one is a Soviet 1942 Mosin, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to already get backlash for that because everyone loves Finnish Mosins. Well, I'm one of the few who actually prefer Russian Mosins, even if they're difficult to use, and I admit they can be difficult to use. Anyways, this one's just a standard infantry rifle that I have converted into a, I guess, sniper. Whatever you would call it. PU sniper, whatever. That's what I converted it to. And I'm going to be talking about that. Now, I bought this back in 2019. It's been a dream rifle of mine. And it came with all the, fancy stuff in here. And, it's bayonets, rod, and whatnot. And everything is matching numbers. And, what's it called? I have the other stuff too, like where you would put his stripper clips in, those little pouches, and the oil, little oil can, interesting oil can. I have all that stuff, but I'm not gonna pull it all out here. This is pretty much all I need to really show. Anyways, I'm gonna set some of these things aside. These were just show and tell, whatnot, and I'm going to start doing what I was originally making this video for, and that is the sniper portion. So, of course, as any, traditional bolt action infantry rifle Mosin, this had a straight bolt. I had the bolt bented down and obviously extended out. I had an option to switch it to the slant or keep it like that. There's another way, I can't remember. I know that one of these ways was for the finish part, which is the slant bit, but I wanted to have it straight down just like a Russian Mosin. I like Russian stuff, alright? So, anyways, it works perfectly fine. Nothing in there, of course, as you saw. And this is hard to do with one hand. There we go. Got it loose there for me. And of course, I have my scope here. This is I don't know what you would really call this. Some people call it a Chinese remake. I know it's terrible to try to show this, but it's there. It works. Anyways, some people would call it a Chinese reproduction scope. The box said, I don't have the box with me because the person that I had install this got rid of it. But the box said that it was made in Texas and assembled in China. So with that information, do what you will. But let's get into it now. I'm gonna try something where I just take a video of everything and then just make a separate video talking over it. All right, there we go. Okay, the first thing you see is that we have to take the bolt out. While holding the trigger down, you pull the bolt out at the same time, and now your bolt shall be out. Most bolt action rifles do this. This instructions is for the people who bought the rifle with the scope on it. You unscrew the large bolt, and then you unscrew the bottom bolt. After that, you can then gently pull up on the scope and then pull out to back towards you. This next part is taking off the mount. The mount is going to kind of get in the way of where your ejector should be. So the best thing to do is to take it out. Now, if you have a reproduction one, it's just 2 screws, as you can see here. But if you have an original one, it's usually 4 to 5 different screws. You can see 4 of them already, and if you look at the far left, you can see the 5th one. This next part is just to show you that you can take out the magazine spring that basically pushes up the rounds every time you load a new one. I take it out just in case as a precaution, and also to check it out. It's also a way to load rounds through underneath the gun if you want to do that. Mine's is a little stiff, that's why I'm using a flathead to open it up, but not all of them are like that. I know that I'm a little behind here, so I'll be quick on this next one. As you can see, I took off the bottom screw and then the top screw, the bottom being the short one, the top being the long one. That is how you're able to separate the rifle at that point. To continue to take apart the rifle, you have to take off these 2 loops that keep the barrel's wooden shield on top of it. Once you take those 2 loops out and you take off the shield, the rest of it can go on its own. Okay, so now that we have taken the main gist of it apart, as you can see, we have our little spring for the extra ammo, like, you know, it's a 5-round capacity, and it would push up each round after another. The reason I am going to be showing this is because, and I'm probably going to make maybe, I don't know, I'll think about it. But anyways, I'll see how this goes. As you can see, this is where the bad part is, in my opinion, because you have to damage a Mosin to place the scope on. As you can see, for people who don't know, you need this little scope mount, and it would go right there. Actually, that's nice and neatly right there. It won't even move because it's just so nicely done. I do thank the gunsmith who did this for me, because I was very I guess I don't really trust people with doing something like this, and it was definitely very well done. As you can see, he did have to fix it a little bit because he almost went too high, but that's okay. I don't really, that's not a problem for my Mosin. What the problem is this bit, and that's what I'm going to be talking about right here. So for those who don't know, that is the ejector. It's hard to see. I'm going to see if I can point to it right here while holding this right there. That little bit right there, that shoots the rounds, or not shoots, but like pops them out, I should say. Pops them out after you're done, whenever you pull the bolt back and insert a new round. Unfortunately, he kind of shaved over this one. Yes, so this is the original one, and you can hardly see it, but you can see it's all shining right there, that where my tip of my thumb is. That he shaved that off completely, and I think he didn't take it apart when he was doing all this work, and you know, it just kind of, it was kind of depressing, because this gun has been around since 1942. In case anyone missed that, there is the number. And it's seen combat and whatnot, just to basically get shaven off. Anyways, though, guns are gonna need replacement parts in the end, so it's all good. Kind of gave me something to do. But anyways, this is what it would look like when you put it fully together. I'm trying to keep this together there. Yes, this is 2 parts. And then you can see the new one. I did place a new one. This wasn't really cleaned well after he was done with doing all this work. And you can still see that there's some tape left over. I cleaned most of it. You can see that there's little bits still here and there. That's what I couldn't see when I was cleaning it at the time. But you can see that there's the little screw. And then you have this whole new piece. Now, you probably don't know, you can't tell, but I'll put a picture up. I have a good picture, I believe, somewhere in my gallery. And this is a whole piece. Now, it's hard to tell, but it's blued. I don't know if it's not picking up on camera, but I know the blue here picks up, but not this. It's weird. And this one's just black. So anyone can correct me on this. Anyone who sees this and knows about Mosin's, finished Mosin's or any other Mosin. I don't know if this whole thing being connected the way it is a regular thing for Mosin's, or like Russian Mosins, I should say, or if it's like a Finnish Mosin thing or an M44 thing, because this is the Russian one, and it's 2 parts, and it's not broken. No, that's how it is. As you can see, there's the little hole, and it would connect to this piece. But that's a whole piece. So if anyone's trying to fix their, like if your rounds aren't feeding up here to the main area and inserting properly, if they're getting stuck right around here, I don't want to take this apart and do this crap again, but if they're getting stuck right there, then you need to change out your ejector. And that's what this bit is. Now, it's not that hard to get to it. As you can see, I did have to get rid of some parts. I'm not going to count the scope, but if it's just a regular Mosin, you just pull out the whole magazine housing contraption. You unscrew the bolt that's right there, and the bolt that's on top right here for the whole barrel assembly and whatnot. And you just take them out of the main stock. Of course, you have to take off this piece too. That's on the top for covering the barrel on the top. And don't forget taking out your bolt first before anything. Anyways, once you take that out and you have just this whole piece right here, which is the barrel, along with the trigger and whatnot. Once you get there, then all you got to do is just look for this bit, which is on the side immediately once you open it, and you unscrew this screw right here. It's a flathead screw, and you're gonna probably need a punch, I would recommend, and just get a soft hammer and just tap it lightly until this pops out. Don't be afraid if it gets bent. This thing is not going to be useful to you anymore, especially if you got a new piece. And I will link where you can get Mosin pieces in the comments. I will pin it up. But yeah, once you get that going, you can place your new one, which I had to use a punch to push it back in. I had to actually lubricate it first because I did not want it to just go in there and have a difficult time. So I lubricated it, both the little area in here and the this bit itself, and then I started to lightly tap it in. I don't know how else to do that. I'm still getting into, I'm still like practicing when it comes to putting guns together, taking them apart, whatnot. I'm not some sort of master at gunsmithing or whatnot, or just basic stuff like this. But once you got that, then you can just close it up, and I will do that and demonstrate that it works properly. So here I go. I'm gonna go do that bit. One more thing, as you can see here, you're gonna have to cut a bit out for the scope mount. So if you ever plan on doing this, which I'm gonna actually link a video in the description to how to do this on your own. If you don't want to have someone do it for you, you can do this on your own. And there's a guy who does I believe it's a 3 or 4 part video that he does this on his own. The only reason I didn't do it on my own is because I don't have the money for the equipment or the proper knowledge of how to use said equipment. And it may be simple for other people, but I just did not want to risk it for myself. So I looked for someone who was very skilled and in doing gunsmithing, and they did this, and I think it came out great because look at that. He fixed up the stock, and it's just more beautiful now with that nice dark look to it. Anyways, though, getting to the assembling part, I'm gonna do that. All right, because it's just me holding a damn phone. First part is you're going to take your barrel and put it back on top of your stock. Make sure everything connects. Should just go in nice and smoothly. Most Mosins do. All right. Step 2, I can do this without making a separate video. Step 2 is to get this bit going. Now, you don't gotta take this out. I just did that for the sake of the video. Putting it back in is easy. All you gotta do is just pinch it, although it's a little bit difficult for me. So I might just, let me see if I can do it. So you pinch it, make sure you get it in that little bit there, and there we go. And then you just close her up. All right, and once you got that going, you then slide this back in, make sure everything's aligned. Here we go. Once you slide that in, sorry, that did not show up, but you just slide that in. You have a screw here, and you have to make sure you hold this in place. You got another screw there. The screws look like this, and the small one goes right here while the long one goes up here. All right, I'm gonna go and do that quickly. One quick little add-on. So as you can pretty much see, most Mosins use flatheads. Well, for those who don't know, as you can see, this is a Mosin Nagant bayonet. And what I was taught was that you can take apart a Mosin with just the parts of the Mosin itself. Now, I don't know how much of that is entirely true, because you got this bit here. This is some extra tools that you can use to also take apart the Mosin, I guess, when it comes down to the little stuff. But as you can see here, the bayonet is a flathead. And I'm not going to demonstrate putting the screws back in, but because this one's already in, I'm going to show that I'm going to try to show it works. So as you can see, I put it in, and is okay. Making sure it's in. This is harder than I thought. Let me see. Let me just get this a little loose. All right, I had to use an actual flathead to do that, but let me just at least demonstrate. As you can see, it does work. It just, I don't know if it works when it comes to actually tightening it. So anyways, do with whatever you want with that information. I just thought it was interesting. All right, I'm gonna continue putting this together. All right, after that is put on, you will then take this bit. This is the top cover for the barrel, and we're just going to make sure that these are out of the way so that you can put this on without any problems. All right, this is very heavy. There we go. All right, make sure that's all the way back, and you will have these little things here, and you will have to put them the right way. So you got the first bit here. This is the biggest ring, and this one's going to go past that first one all the way to the back until it snaps on. Come on, there we go. Now mine's don't snap on because mine's is retarded, so I'm sorry. Anyways, but the second bit here, this one snaps in. So there you go. Hopefully you guys heard that. You probably didn't because I was talking. Anyways, now we're at the fun part. And that's pretty much just assembling the rest of it because it's very easy. Let me first get this out of the way. All right. All you have to do here is just take your bolt, push it in ever so slightly. There you go. Yeah, that was ever so slightly. Normally you have to hold the trigger down, but I didn't have to. I don't know why. I'm not gonna complain. Anyways, at that point your Mosin's finished, but if you have the scope, then you just screw those in where where the cutouts are, and then putting that is pretty self-explanatory. But if you don't know, you just take this bit, this is the front, put that in, and then you just slide it in like that. And once you do, you can screw this in and screw the bottom in, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm just going to demonstrate that the extractor works. Sorry, I meant ejector. All right, so I do have live rounds. I'm sorry I do not have dummy rounds, but I'm not stupid enough to actually shoot this into the ground. Thank you very much. All right, just to show that the ejector works. So I was able to load that in with no problem. Now to eject it. Oh, well, that went flying. It's new, so it's going to be a little stubborn at first, but you'll get it eventually. Trying to show the rounds coming out, but well, that's what happens when you go slow. So don't go slow. Yeah, all right. So you can see it came out. It popped out, and that's the whole point. And again, you can kind of see it if I can keep the damn gun still right here, right below. Right now it's touching my nail. There it is, right there. All right. Well, anyways, that was just my little, I guess, video on this. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And please comment if you learned anything. If not, I'm sorry if this was nothing new or whatnot. But anyways, thanks again for taking the time to watch it.